can't have metal detectors getting all these people in here. So, it's a situation that is heavily secure in terms of having many layers of law enforcement doing their job and trying to protect people, but there's no stopping anyone from bringing weapons in here, unfortunately.
And we're going to hear more from the Kansas City Police Department as far as how everything was controlled after the first gunshots and the second gunshots, or how many more gunshots were heard. We'll get more information from there, but one of the things that we also witnessed was, even though there was chaos, even though there was so many people here witnessing the parade, the Kansas City Police Department, they were able to kind of clear out the perimeter, which is, there's a big giant fountain inside, or outside Union Station, so they were able to rope that off, and the perimeter kind of kept expanding until eventually got to us, where we had to leave the area, and all the way up the hill, up to where the Liberty Hill Memorial is. They were able to clear out all the fans, so they were out probably faster than one could expect.
Exactly.
To try to get hundreds of thousands of fans to safety.
And just to move them off the perimeter. The other thing that is just, I can't get out of my mind and my heart at this point is the fact that, because it's such a beautiful day, and because practically all of the major school districts had called this a red snow day, there were a ton of kids here. Little kids. Kids of all ages.
Kids was there.
With their families, with their friends.
Fucking kids,
we
man.
watched these little kids tumble and play football in front of us all morning long. And to think that, really just not so many feet from where they were, the first gunshots went off. So the fact that there have been patients taken to children, it is going to weigh heavily on people's minds, just because there were just so many families here.
It was difficult to see so many people still celebrating the moment of the team, and in that same crowd.
So they had an active shooting at the Super Bowl game, y'all. Active shooting at the Super Bowl game.
And what other people weren't saying.
At the Super Bowl parade, I should say. The Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade. 10 people were shot. 3 critical. 1 dead. At a Super Bowl parade. Damn. That's the first time I ever seen something like that, at a Super Bowl parade. How much Super Bowl parades we had?
300, 400,000 people. How many
for this Kansas City parade to be? Man, I don't know.
And to be honest, because it happened at the very end.
It happened at the very end.
People their minds were, we're going to head toward our cars. We're going to head up. So there were, for most people, especially up on the hill and everything, they were heading to their cars, and they were going to find out about this later on. And I am grateful for that, because we knew we were going to have to explain exactly what had happened to all these people, and it taints the entire day and what we were originally here to celebrate in our fine city.
We have another ambulance that's making way.
10 people shot. 10 people shot at a celebration. It's crazy.
Heavy police presence. There are still ambulances on the scene. Another ambulance is arriving here. And I know that momentarily we're going to hear from the Kansas City Police Department and get more details on the situation here.
Todd, right behind you, an ambulance is coming. So, yeah, I mean, that is the situation. And Bria and Chris, I know our newsroom is working, tirelessly to try and get updated information so we can let people know.
That's the scene right there.
The absolute latest as to who's in custody, and the people who are being treated. We know that one person has died in all of this. Okay, let's go to Matt Evans, who's now on the scene. Matt, what can you tell us?
So that's what's going on. That's what's going on right now. The Kansas City Super Bowl parade.
That's what we've seen here. Right now,
And fucking active shooting was going on. Active shooting at the Kansas City Super Bowl parade. 10 people shot, 3 critical, 1 passed away.
Who told us that they heard
Damn.
several gunshots. They weren't sure sure if they were fireworks or gunshots. There were also some fireworks in the area going off, so it was pretty confusing for everybody at the time. And then people started running, they heard more. People eventually tried to get out. Talked to one family.
This year is starting off crazy, bro. This year is crazy.
They heard gunshots and just started running over.
This is a crazy year, bro.
Obviously, we're not getting much
Like, you know,
information from police at this location. We're told there is immediate state of the air to move it further up Pershing here. But this is as far as we've been allowed to go this entire time. We've seen a lot of kids and Missouri police officers, Jackson County Sheriff's deputies with long guns.
10 people shot, 3 critical, 1 dead.
We were pushed back. We saw tactical units getting into the IRS building too. So not sure if that was really anything or not, but there was not much that came out of that building. So that was at least some good news. A lot of people that were still kind of ducking for cover in that moment. But obviously, this
Super Bowl parade shooting.
we've heard from everybody here has just absolutely shifted from one of jubilation, of just excitement about the Kansas City Chiefs to just sheer terror. And this is something that obviously Kansas City.
Now, who would do something like that?
They have been,
You know, who would do something like that?
scenario for them,
You know?
obviously, hoping that this never happens, but their officers responded very quickly. It was pretty evident that something was wrong. We were not
Something, you know, like, I'm trying to figure it out.
It was pretty evident that something was going on because the police helicopter began doing some really tight circles over the crowd. You hear the
That's
sirens,
crazy, man.
And obviously, we're not just trying to figure out exactly what happened.
And somebody was in handcuffs. So somebody was detained. I don't know if somebody was arrested. I don't know if that was a gunman, but somebody was in handcuffs.
Obviously, we know that this is going to be the investigation will be very thorough into what happened and to who was involved.
Yeah, who was involved? You know, it's still premature right now. A lot of premature developments.
In the coming hours, the coming days, weeks, and maybe even the coming months.
But this is very serious. Somebody lost their life. 10 people were shot. This ain't no, you know what I mean? This ain't no joke.
I'm just handing the mic off to you and
Damn.
walk through what you saw tonight. We were leaving the Union Station.
Like, why mess up a celebration? If somebody want to celebrate their team winning, why go there with a gun and the intentions to, you know, to do that? It's just a game.
Not anywhere close to Kansas City.
Why attack a Super Bowl celebration? That's what I'm saying. It's just a game.
Where we are right now in Broadway and Pershing.
Why attack that? It don't make sense. This never happened before.
Jackson County Sheriff's Department.
What's up, Derek?
Let's
go, Shu. Shout out to you.
Building here. I'm not sure what that was exactly. If that was
Yeah, but why attack a celebration, bro? Like, this never happened before,
Definitely,
you know?
something that we were watching. We saw another man
Don't make no
get
sense,
into
yo.
a police vehicle. Unsure if he was just unrelated to the shooting, but
Trying to figure this out.
Terrified of what happened. Lots of people still walking back towards where we are, away from Union Station. I could only assume that they were inside or nearby the shooting. So many people telling Matt and I about how scared they were. One video that a viewer sent us that showed us, this happened almost immediately after the music stopped, after the rally at Union Station. It's like a 15-second window. The music stops playing, people are celebrating, they're singing the Red Kingdom, another Chiefs song, and then immediately you start seeing a video of the shaking and people scared, trying to figure out what was going on, running inside of Union Station. So we're still waiting to get more of an update from Kansas City Police. Still waiting to get an update on those people who are critically injured.
Still makes sense.
That are injured and just
It don't make sense. The game is a game, like, you know.
Tonight, from this shooting, completely different change of tone. Of what
See, you know, that's why I don't go nowhere. I don't go no clubs. I don't go no celebrations. No parties.
Whenever you go anywhere,
Nothing, bro. It takes one person to mess the shit up. Like here, like this situation here. One person.
Celebratory days in Kansas
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Still lots of police here on the scene, lots of Jackson County.
It makes no sense that you want to go to a Super Bowl celebration and you don't make it back home. You know, you lost your life. Or you in the hospital in critical condition because you want to celebrate your team winning, which you have a right to.
about 2 hours ago is when really the flood of
You know
people
what I mean?
started to leave. So still
You have a
some
right to.
people who are inside coming this way off Pershing and Broadway. Still it's just a scene we're monitoring. I'm going to give it back to Matt here to wrap up.
This shit right here, man, it make no sense.
Right now and see who else we know, Matt.
Yeah, and Jackson, just something you mentioned too. A lot of people probably weren't even aware of this situation as they were leaving the rally. We saw some people who clearly knew what had happened, and others who were still trying to celebrate, still trying to enjoy a party that clearly that this it's not a party anymore. This is now a crime scene investigation, and that's what we're seeing kind of behind us here, where you see this white tape up on the east side, or on the west side of Union Station, that is. So exactly where this shooting happened, we're not sure. We've kind of been on the outside. Obviously, cell service has been very spotty through this entire ordeal, but we're still seeing a lot of police kind of meet at this side. We saw at least 5 or 6 ambulances from this side, and several more before we were really close that were leaving with lights and sirens on as well. So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of questions that a lot of people have, but at this point, there's not much information we have here, obviously. So, it's kind of maybe when investigators get in.
Same thing in the Bronx. The Bronx had an active shooting on Monday.
Obviously, we'll stay here.
You know what I'm saying? Like fucking 6 people were shot. 1 died.
We're trying to send it back to you
Cause
guys.
2 gangs met up on the train,
And of course,
the
it's
4
just,
train in the Bronx.
it's really
2 gangs
tough,
met up,
obviously, to see
and
what's
they started
happening
fighting in the
here.
train.
And, you know what you mean, buddy?
A shot went off in the train.
I know a lot of people are.
It's really
Two more shooters started shooting in the train.
We'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Yeah, we are awaiting.
Shit is crazy, man. Then we got this shit here.
Police that we now
It's
think
crazy,
is
bro.
happening in
A lot of,
Union
you know what I mean?
Station, Kansas City, Missouri Police Headquarters.
A lot of gunplay, so y'all gotta be weird as shit, man. I stay low key by them lock.
Truman Medical Center now
You know what I'm saying?
reporting
Niggas is
that
turning
they are
up out here. They
treating
turning
four
up
gunshot victims
in
and
weird
8
places.
Other individuals who were not
In a
shot
moving
in
train.
all of this. So they are treating
They had
12
gunplay.
people
Boop, boop,
right
boop,
now.
boop, boop.
So that earlier number
Moving train.
of
You get out the
casualties
train,
has
people
gone up
running.
again. TMC.
They still
Four
shooting.
gunshot victims
In the
and
train,
8
like
other
16,
people
17 shots.
who were not shot in this. Let's go to Matt Fleener, who was at TMC for his.
That's in the Bronx, Monday.
He's getting the same information we are, and again, there's a bit of a lag because of.
I know y'all heard about it. Y'all heard about it.
There's going to be a
Yeah, man.
between when I stopped and when he
Kind of
starts
find out
talking.
there's 2 gangs met up on the train. Niggas start boop, 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 boop. It had to be 2 gangs, cause I thought about it, I'm like, there's gotta be some gang shit. This ain't no regular train passenger. Nah, these gotta be some gang niggas or some. They went to war. They met up and went to war.
Down just a bit, even though there are staff from University Health Truman Medical Center that are still standing back here.
In the fucking train, bro. They went to war on the train.
Is up, and we also know
You know how scary that shit is? Now, I mean, if you're a civilian, you a civilian, you seeing these niggas going, I mean, they doing what they do, you're a civilian, man, you trying to go home, I'm like, damn,
We did get an earlier statement from
it's
University
crazy, man.
a spokeswoman who said
It's a lot going on out here. It's a lot going on in the world.
Those victims brought here from the Union Station incident are being treated by the best trauma specialists in the city. Our entire staff is aware of the incident, and all of our hearts go out to the victims and their families. And we know the staff here at University Health Truman Medical Center are some of the best trauma specialists in this city, and they deal with shootings here in the city day in, day out. So they know how to handle situations and shootings. It probably has been quite some time, though, before they've had to deal
crazy,
with
man.
shootings of this magnitude.
Too much is going on out here, man. Yeah, though, but you know.
There are 12 victims from this incident that are inside right now, and of course, we know 4 gunshot victims.
Like, I want to know, like, what's the motive? Was he just shooting in the crowd? Was he shooting at somebody? Did he target the event? All this needs to be known, like, you know? Because why would you do something like this? I'm still left puzzled. There's got to be a reason. Got to be a motive. I seen somebody, again, somebody was detained in handcuffs. So I don't know if he was a suspect. I don't know what's going on.
And those families have been taken away now. They've been working with staff.
But to do that, knowing
how their family members
a lot
are
of
doing.
police
But,
gonna be there, that's
it's just
stupid.
been a really, really
You
difficult
know what I mean?
day,
Like,
here in
police gonna
Kansas City.
flood the area.
Are just trying to figure out what
You
to do
know what I
next,
mean? Like,
trying
you
to
ain't gonna
figure
get
out
away
where we
with
go
that.
from here. But we know
If you
the
thought
staff
you
here at
was,
Turner
you
Medical
ain't.
Center is working very hard to make sure all of the people that have been brought here are taken care of the best.
So it was like, you know.
Great. We'll send it back to you.
All right, man. Thanks, Governor Parson. Also posting on social media a short time
To think,
ago,
that's
Governor
bold,
and
man.
First
To
Lady
do
were
that
there.
at a Super
What
Bowl
happened,
parade,
in front of Union
that's
Station.
fucking
They were
bold,
safe,
man.
They were secure.
That's bold.
State law enforcement
You know what I'm
personnel
saying? Like,
assisting
that is
local
bold,
authorities
man.
in this response.
Bold
As we
and
wait to learn
stupid.
more,
Very
Governor
stupid.
posting, our hearts go out to the victims.
What, you want fame? You want clout? You want to be the one to know? You know, like,
Stacey Graves and the mayor a chance to get an update on the best information that they have, and I want to bring
Lynn and Laura.
maybe
Press conference.
let's go to that press conference right now.
Fire Chief Russ Glenderson. After I'm done speaking, Police Chief Graves will give details on the incident that happened in Kansas City at Union Station about today's shooting.
Might not have good audio.
nah, their audio suck. Get it together.
We got it?
This is breaking news, y'all. Breaking news.
We know at the outset. First today, we had 600 Kansas City, Missouri Police Department officers.
Super Bowl parade shooting. Breaking news. Super Bowl parade shooting.
Everyone in Kansas City looking to have a
It's gonna be all over your YouTube. It's gonna be all over your blog
we
soon.
recognize that there are some who are injured. We are praying for the safety of everyone. I've talked to a few different folks so far. One, we have spoken to the Kansas City Chiefs, who made clear that their prayers are with everyone who was at the parade today.
The Kansas City Chiefs make sure their prayers are with everyone who was involved.
Also noted that their players, coaches, and
So the
staff
Kansas City Chiefs knows about it.
at this point and safe.
You know what I'm saying?
We, however, note that this is a fluid situation, so all that we are sharing now may change as the hours go ahead. We've also received a call from the White House that offered all federal assistance.
Call from the White House.
We have federal agencies present today. We appreciate that, and certainly in the days ahead and the hours ahead, we will make sure we continue to do this work. I will say personally, first, a thank you to the women and men of law enforcement, to the women and men who work with the Kansas City Fire Department and our other agencies.
Yeah, but to do that there at an event where it's going to be like thousands of cops, it don't make sense to me. It don't make sense.
We thank them for that.
It don't make sense. Like,
I saw members of our Kansas City
is you
Fire
mentally
Department
disturbed? Is you mentally ill? That's what I want to know. Is he mentally ill?
And the challenges that were near them. This is absolutely a tragedy, the likes of which we would have never expected in Kansas City, and the likes of which we will remember for some time. However, I want to say thank you to those who are making sure that we are safe today, those who are investigating this incident, and those who will continue to make sure that those who committed these acts today are brought to justice.
And that's crazy, man. You know what I mean?
At the end of the chief's comments, but now the police chief, Stacey Graves.
Chief Stacey Graves, Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. At the conclusion of the Chiefs rally today,
At the conclusion of the rally, shots was fired.
Immediately, officers responded to the area, took 2 people into custody, and also
2 people into custody.
sustaining aid to those victims. We're still gathering information on
So,
the number
after
and the status of victims.
The celebration,
Like I said,
shots was
we know one of
fired.
the victims is deceased.
Cops immediately ran,
We also know
took
that
2 people into
officers
custody.
ran towards danger.
Crazy.
Officers were there to keep everyone safe. I'm angry at what happened today. The people who came to this celebration should expect a safe environment. We had over 800 law enforcement officers, Kansas City and other agencies, at the location to keep everyone safe.
She said they had 800 cops. 800 cops there. And you do that? That's what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? 800 cops. They ran to the shooting immediately. Took in 2 shooters. 2 shooters. That's crazy. investigation just beginning.
Areas and businesses. This is still an
Wow.
active investigation.
So the police are updating now. 2 shooters, they said. They took into custody. They ran towards the shots.
Press availability. Did you have anything? No. One of our victims has been declared deceased. We have.
A lot going on out there. There's a lot going on.
Right now, we have up to 10 to 15 injured by. Yes. Right now, we do not have an exact number of people who were victims of a gunshot wound. It could be upwards from 10 to 15 with one deceased. I do not have conditions on our victims just
They say
yet.
it could be 10 to 15 shot with one
I
deceased.
do not believe that any of them were children.
2 shooters. They attacked that place.
Nothing of note.
They attacked that place. They attacked the shooting. They attacked the parade.
That is still
And
under
got-
investigation.
that's what it
I
was.
myself was outside when I heard the shots fired. It is an ongoing investigation. It's going to take us a little bit.
Because there wasn't no reason for that to happen.
I will say though, we do have 2 suspects in custody.
2 suspects in custody. I heard it again.
I have heard that as well. I have heard that fans got involved in the apprehension or the pursuit of one of the suspects. I cannot confirm that right now, but that is something that I have heard myself.
So if she says she can't confirm that fans helped apprehend one of the suspects, that's going to come out later. Fans helped stop one of the gunmen.
Absolutely.
That's going to come out later.
As soon as the rally
Everything is developing now.
there were shots
Everything is
fired on the
developing.
west side of Union Station. Officers were on scene in the area. I know.
She said when shots was fired, officers was immediately there.
Like I said, there's 2 suspects.
Of course.
in custody. I
800 cops there.
information that was just requested. I will
Ain't
take
nothing you could do. You can't even piss, without cops on your ass out there.
Immediately, officers began rendering life-sustaining aid, calling in fire, which is the fire department, to also assist victims.
Do you know if there were more than 2 people taken into custody? Because we had 2 people after you guys had made your announcement. There were 2 people in custody. 2 people.
So he asks, is it more than 2 people taken into custody? Questions are being asked right now.
The process is this investigation continues.
I don't know exactly the 2 that you're talking about that your camera caught on video being loaded into a wagon. I don't know that, but I can tell you that in and around that scene, it is still active. Not active in necessarily threats, but it's a very active scene. We're still investigating. This is still early on. We still have parties that are walking into hospitals.
Chief Graves, do you know anything about the suspects in terms of where they're from? Are they from?
I do not know that, but that's something that I also will be finding out.
2 questions. We're hearing up on maybe 20 shots. Can you talk about the number that you heard?
I'm hearing 10 to 15, possibly 15, with the one that is deceased.
So they're talking about shots now. If she says they heard 10 to 15 shots went off.
I don't have anything about, I can't give you an answer on the timing. I can just say that that's when it occurred, and we are investigating what led up to that. Maybe once we get some of those details, we'll know why that happened at that time, but right now it's
Crazy, man. Like, that's crazy, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That is
Breaking
something
news,
that
man.
is under investigation.
Super Bowl celebration. Got 2 shooters there. Motives is still under investigation. 2 people taken into custody at the scene. 2 people at the scene taken into custody.
I second the comments about the chief of police.
You see him right there.
First of all, I'm praying for the victims.
You see him in handcuffs.
And I start with them.
See him in handcuffs. There you go.
Disappointed. I was there with my wife. I was there with my mother. We never would have thought that we, along with Chiefs players, along with fans, hundreds of thousands of people.
See him right there.
Forced to run for our safety today. I think that I'll let the investigation shake out before coming to any further conclusions, but I think the initial response absolutely is anger. You know, we have done a number of these now, and this is a day that a lot of people look forward to, something they remember for a lifetime. And what they shouldn't have to remember is the threat of gun violence, marring a day like this, injuring them and their families. This morning,
See him right there.
bringing my child, as many people in Kansas City did.
That's somebody going into custody.
I don't want us to
in handcuffs, in all red, trying to blend in with the Kansas City colors.
As the chief noted, we had a lot of law enforcement officers there today. They did exceptional and outstanding work, and I will second that again.
He's trying to blend in with the Kansas City colors. That ain't gonna work, buddy.
We heard something.
That ain't gonna work, buddy.
And I see a stream of officers going the exact
You know what I'm saying?
in with guns drawn, ready to address.
If your team lost, so what? You don't do that shit, man. I guarantee you.
But I wish that we lived in a world where they wouldn't have
One of those sports nuts.
I wish we lived in a world where we wouldn't have to see incidents like that. But I'm as heartbroken.
Guarantee you, one of those sports
We will
nuts
do a full and thorough investigation.
who love sports so much that, you know,
And we will continue to try to make sure that we can be as safe as possible. However,
crazy, man.
people who decide to bring guns.
So here we go.
When you have
Here we go,
people
right
who are
there.
deciding
Now we got new footage.
celebratory ones like
New
this one.
footage of
All of us
people
start to
running and
become
shit.
Members of this club that none of us want to be a part of, which is those who experience mass shootings. I hope for Kansas City this is one of the last times we experience them. What's that? Sorry, I'm going.
In danger at any point.
So, well, like some people don't know what the fuck going on.
You know what? I think we'll let the investigation take a look at that. The police department responded effectively, I think incredibly quickly, to make sure that people would be out of harm's way.
It's a lot of people,
That means
man.
that a number of us had to flee from a situation because we heard a sound of gunshots. So I'll let you answer your own question.
It's a lot of people, man.
That's something that puts
It's
you
a
in
lot of
danger.
people.
In my view,
For you to do that shit,
you don't know where they're coming from, you don't know who's firing
crazy.
and all of that. Then perhaps there is a situation.
breaking news, breaking news. They got the busing got the busing at the Super Bowl celebration, gang. Gotta be a San Francisco fan, a 49ers fan, man. 49ers fan, travel his ass all the way there, so.
Correct.
Gotta be a 49ers fan, bro.
We're gonna have a lot
Motherfuckers coming in heavy.
of this information. I appreciate it.
I just have one thing to say.
Damn, how much of them motherfuckers is there?
I'm angered by what happened, but I want you to know that the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department and all the law enforcement officers that were there today, that were serving and protecting, did the best that they could, and I'm so proud of them that they ran into danger, getting 2 people into custody, and at the same time,
Again, it was 800 cops there, bro. 800 cops. 800 cops. You ain't getting away with nothing there.
Or more is why we're
Too much police.
We will recover as a city. My heart goes out to our victim who is deceased. But your police department stands ready, and we are invested in the safety and betterment of Kansas City. Thank you. We'll send you guys more updates on Twitter, okay? Follow the Twitter account and we'll put the updates that we have like
Police Chief Stacey Graves and Kansas City, Missouri Mayor Quentin Lucas on the steps of police headquarters downtown. And some of the headlines here. Police Chief Stacey Graves: I am angry over what happened today. This is not Kansas City. 2 or more bad actors.
All right, you're hearing the coverage from our affiliate KMCB in Kansas City there of a press
So
conference.
2 bad actors, they said.
Mayor,
2 gunmen
Quentin
targeted the
Lucas
Super
and
Bowl
Police Chief
celebration.
Stacey Graves.
This never happened before in the history of sports. You never had a gunman target no NBA
authorities say
victory
2 people were taken
celebration,
into
no
custody.
Super Bowls,
2
you know what I
armed
mean?
people were taken into custody. The police chief there
It's a
said
lot of
officers
first,
ran
man.
toward
This
the
year
danger
gonna be
that more
different.
than, 800 officers were there.
This a
to keep
different year,
everyone
man.
safe. It was a day of celebration, an all-American day. Tens of thousands of people were gathered. 800,000 is the report.
800,000 people was there.
So take a listen right now to the moments at this celebration of the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory. The moment that shots rang out. All right, so police seen swarming the scene of that. You heard those shots, rapid fire, several shots. Police then swarming the scene, people fleeing. The mayor himself said he, tried to get to safety and then saw police officers who were
Damn, the mayor was there.
swarming the scene.
The
2
mayor
armed
could have been
people
shot
taken
too.
into custody,
Everybody
with
was
the
there, bro.
police,
Everybody of
chief
importance.
saying that this looks like
So to
this was
target
like
that,
bad actors.
you know what I'm
Not a
saying? Like,
targeted attack,
that's
but some
crazy,
kind of
bro.
dispute,
The mayor
argument, conflict that
ran
broke out just
for
as
cover.
this event was
He had the
ending.
mayor
This is
ducking.
Senior investigative reporter Aaron Katursky,
Damn.
and joins us now on this. Aaron, let me just ask you what we know.
That's
right now,
crazy, bro. You got the
about
busing
this
at the Super
event,
Bowl parade.
based on what we heard in the press
Damn.
conference and what we've been
Shit.
reporting all day.
Terry, as the Mayor Lucas said, it was a celebration
Mayor
marked by a
Lucas.
shooting after
I don't know who
the
he is,
Kansas
but he
City
the
Chiefs
mayor
had
for
paraded
Kansas
through the
City, I guess.
And all of those people came to cheer them
Shit,
on.
Mayor
after
Lucas got
the
low.
team won the Super Bowl. Shots rang out on the west side of Union Station, the historic century-old
Union Station,
Beaux-Arts
if
train
y'all
station.
familiar with
And
Kansas
the
City,
gunfire, we understand.
that's where the
has
shots rang
left
out at, the
between
west side of
10
Union
and
Station.
15 people injured. According to the police chief, 1 person has died of injuries. There are 2 suspects in custody. Both of them were armed when they were taken into custody by the police.
2 suspects in
The chief
custody,
said there were
both
some
armed.
800 law enforcement
Both
officials
armed.
there on scene to protect the parade. They quickly rushed toward the gunfire.
Quickly
They were able to
apprehended,
take 2 people
armed
into
with the
custody.
weapon.
At this point, we're
Like-
told the Kansas City Police Department is retaining the investigation.
So that means
They're the
they
lead
was together.
agency, and so it's not
Now,
a
if they're
federal
together,
case at this moment.
that's a
giving us an
conspiracy
indication that they
to
believe this
attack
may be more
the parade
criminal in
if they're
nature,
together.
rather than something, say,
Now, if they
terror
shooting at each other,
or some other kind
that's a
of
different
motive.
story.
Terry,
But if they
the police
came
chief
together
declared herself
and both,
angry
you know,
at what happened today. She said people should expect a safe environment. There were 800 law enforcement officers there, and instead, as the mayor put it, this celebration was marred by.
it's crazy, man. Well, that's why I want to know if they was together. If they was together,
Bob Boyce, former
they had a plan
in the
to do that
NYPD,
together.
who is with us frequently on these kinds of events and many others as well. So, Bob, I want to ask you when you listen to Police Chief Stacey Graves of Kansas
Yeah, first
City
was
and the
movie
mayor as
theaters.
well,
Now
Lucas,
it's Super Bowl
what did you hear
celebrations.
that
Fuck that.
struck you in that press conference?
Well, I think the chief was in a tough spot there. Let's frame this correctly. When we look at this Kansas City, they have one of the highest crime rates in the country. So she has a work cut out for her. And when you go to a lot of planning, you can see the frustration from the chief as well, that she planned this out.
1 dead, at least 10 injured.
800 law enforcement from the scene. So it's frustrating when these things happen.
1 dead, 10 injured, y'all.
Conversations. This is a criminal issue here with the 2 arrests. It's unclear if those are the perpetrators of the crime. But nonetheless, it looks
KV on
like
TV.
It doesn't look like a federal investigation at this
I'm
point.
saying?
As Aaron said, these feds would come over and take it over.
No
by now.
copyright,
So,
YouTube.
Kansas City Police is a primary
This is for
here.
educational
And we'll know more as we
purposes,
go forward from these 2
you know,
individuals arrested.
commentary purposes,
Important to
YouTube.
note is when you look at these crime scenes, the first
Yeah,
thing
but,
I do is look at the groupings of shell
just trying to
casings
bring it to the
see
people,
how many-
man.
see if I can ask
As
you
I get it,
issues that
I
were
bring
in
that shit out.
in this incident. So that's going on right
You know,
now.
'cause-
Were they just 2 shooters? Because it certainly seems that way. Were they shooting at each other and other people got
That's the
involved?
same thing I said. Was they shooting at each other?
That's what it looks like to me.
Or was
So
they
the-
together
from this press
shooting at the
conference,
crowd?
frustration from the
That's
chief
what I want to know.
as well as the
Was they
criminal
shooting
incident.
at
That's
each
what
other?
we're going forward.
Or was they shooting at the crowd
Bob
together?
Boyce, thank you very much for that. Let's bring in Elizabeth Newman.
That'll
former
put this whole
official
shit in
at
perspective.
the Department of
That'll put
Homeland
it where I need, you know
Security.
what I mean?
To follow up on what Bob was saying, Elizabeth, on the frustration of Police Chief Stacey Graves there, She said that this was done in the presence of the law enforcement.
Right. It was done in the presence of police. That's why it's crazy. Police see y'all. Police are seeing you doing this shit.
People, she called them bad actors.
Like, what the fuck? Police is watching you do it.
From what she was describing, took out
800 cops. You know they see this shit.
All the preparation in the world, as Brad was suggesting, and there was enormous preparation for this event.
Like,
how can you stop?
You go to jail immediately, bro.
I mean, that's the trouble that
10 people shot, 1 dead.
Right now, we have individuals who, you know, as a mom, you kind of want to, like you're talking to your kids and you guys.
Football numbers. That's life, bro.
Yes, we as a society have seemed to lose our collective minds. And
plus all the attempted murders
that they don't belong.
That they could charge you with. Over 800,000 people there. You know how much? Just a lot of man. That's what I'm saying.
And we don't know the details here.
It don't make sense.
But we certainly can describe the environment that we have been living in for 9 or 10 years now, where we are in an epidemic of mass attacks that are perpetrated for a variety of reasons. Some with
this shit is crazy, man. This is crazy, y'all.
Some with no discernible motive whatsoever, and some are just spillover violence of individuals who are angry for some reason. And when you're in that very difficult threat environment, it is just an impossible scenario for law enforcement. I thought the police chief did a wonderful job of pointing out how well prepared they were.
Just bringing it to y'all live and direct.
And that they were running towards the threat. I mean, that's especially after Uvalde, where we did see law enforcement failure. It's important to point out how frequently our law enforcement officers are the ones running towards the threat. They are trying to protect the public. And yet this keeps happening, and it does remind all of us
Kansas City
is a society-wide problem that we can't just rely on
Kansas City, Missouri.
To fix for us. We need to have some tough
It's a beautiful place, man.
We keep ending up
you know what I'm saying?
These tragedies. Why?
It's a beautiful place, beautiful people, man. Let them celebrate. Let them have their football championship victories, man.
It is a tough day in Kansas City, and yet another tough day in America.
I don't know the motive for that.
Absolutely, Aaron. Brad, Elizabeth, thank you all very much. An all-American event.
Like, who would shoot up a Super Bowl parade? Like, I don't get it.
What is an all-American tragedy as well. 1 dead, 10 to 15 injured, some of them from gunshots, some of them from injuries perhaps as the crowd fled the scene. Well, the news never stops here, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, though. But that shit is crazy. But I'm going to holler at y'all, man. It's your boy, Kavion. Hit that like, subscribe button for your boy. So as you can see, I'm shooting at the Super Bowl parade. 1 dead, 10 injured, 2 shooters apprehended. I'm out, man. Peace.